So hello guys, this is going to be a rundown of my slides for this afternoon, my talk on gray areas. So let's go. We start with Superman and Batman. How Superman, wears his underwear outside, Batman wears it on his head. But ultimately, we're looking at the God-man. Jesus was fully God and yet fully human. So he had to navigate gray areas in his life, and yet he was sinless. And what follows are three gray areas to do with religion, to do with rules, and then finally with rest and pointing to Jesus. So I asked them a question first. What is a relationship gray area? Who are we supposed to hang out with and who should we watch out for? And I expect questions to do with who shall I date? And then we get some answers, and then we look at the Bible together. We're looking at Jesus. The first episode of Jesus dealing with his relationships, hanging out a lot with tax collectors and sinners. Oh, the bad guys. And ultimately, Jesus is calling them to repentance. So that's kind of like the flow. We talk about gray area, we get some answers, and then we look at Jesus. Yep. The second area has to do with rules, and I asked them what are some unwritten rules in your church, things that never say cannot, but actually cannot do one. Things like Taylor Swift, cannot watch Taylor Swift, or things like Harry Potter, cannot read Harry Potter. And so we look at what Jesus does when he breaks the rule to do with fasting. And Jesus actually say cannot. There are situations whereby you should not apply these rules, but there are also situations whereby you should. And the deciding factor is Christ. We're not doing these things for the sake of them alone, but how they point us to Jesus and Jesus again and again. So that's relationship and then rules. Finally, we look at the big questions of life. Where do you find the answers to your questions on life and gray areas, or who is your sifu? My sifu is Abraham Tan. So leng zai, so smiley. And he did the first part. He actually did a talk on gray areas with these guys before. So he's my sifu. And we look at Jesus, and Jesus finally deals with the topic of Sabbath, and with some hangry people, some hungry people. But we should be happy, because if we are hungry, we can go to Jesus. If we are hungry, we can go to Jesus, who is the Lord of the Sabbath. And so that's basically the talk and the slides for today. Not trying to be Superman, solve everything. Batman tried to be sneaky, but look to the God-man, Jesus Christ. So my slides for today. Still working on it, but to be honest, quite lazy already lah. I think this is it lah. Okay, see you guys later on. Bye-bye.